Hello, everyone. I am the sleep storyteller, and I am here to help you today. I know you use this video to fall asleep, so before we begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. Also, let me know in the comments, where are you from and what time are you listening? Now get comfortable and relax. The night in Gotham was quiet, wrapped in a soft mist that curled around the rooftops like a slow-moving tide. The city, so often restless and filled with echoes of hurried footsteps and distant sirens, seemed to pause. A gentle breeze whispered through the empty streets, carrying with it the scent of rain that had kissed the pavement hours ago. Somewhere beyond the skyline, the moon hung low, casting its silver glow upon the towering buildings, their glass windows shimmering like 1,000 tiny stars. In the heart of this sleeping city, a figure stood upon the edge of a rooftop, his silhouette dark against the moonlit sky. Cloaked in shadows, he remained still, his cape flowing ever so slightly with the rhythm of the wind. Batman watched over Gotham as he always did, though tonight felt different, quieter, more dreamlike. The weight of the city's burdens pressed against him, yet there was a stillness in the air, a moment where even the ever-turning wheel of crime seemed to pause. Far below, the streets stretched endlessly, weaving through the city like veins pulsing beneath the skin of a great beast. Streetlights flickered, their golden glow bathing the pavement in warmth. A lone car passed by, its headlights sweeping over the deserted sidewalks. Somewhere in the distance, a clock tower chimed softly, its tones melting into the silence of the night. The sound drifted upwards, reaching Batman's ears as he closed his eyes for just a moment, allowing himself to breathe in the peace of the moment. Gotham had never been a city that slept easily. It was a place of restless energy, of secrets hidden in alleyways and whispered beneath flickering neon signs. But tonight, there was a lull, a rare pause in the storm. Batman stepped back from the ledge, his gaze moving toward the distant glow of Wayne Manor, standing just beyond the city's edge. There, nestled within the hills, it remained a quiet sanctuary, untouched by the chaos of Gotham's streets. A soft rustle of wings broke the silence as a group of bats took flight from the bell tower nearby, their dark forms cutting across the moon. He watched them go, their wings moving in perfect harmony, gliding effortlessly through the air. There was something calming in their flight, something that reminded him of childhood nights spent beneath the vast sky, staring at the stars and imagining a world beyond the one he knew. The night stretched onward, wrapping Gotham in its gentle embrace, And for a fleeting moment, Batman allowed himself to believe that, just for tonight, the city could rest. The hush of the city deepened, as if Gotham itself had drawn a long, slow breath. The wind whispered through the alleys, curling like unseen fingers around the quiet streets. Batman stood motionless upon the rooftop, his cape a silent wave in the night. For once, there was no rush, no urgent call demanding his attention, just the quiet hum of a city teetering between slumber and wakefulness. His gaze softened as he looked down at Gotham, the city he had vowed to protect. Even in the stillness, it pulsed with life. A cat slinked through the shadows near a lamplight, its eyes gleaming like twin embers. The soft creak of a sign swinging in the wind filled the empty air. A light flickered in a small apartment window where someone sat curled beneath a blanket, lost in the pages of a book. For all its darkness, Gotham held moments of warmth, small pockets of quiet beauty hidden beneath the towering buildings and neon reflections. The night stretched on, and Batman moved across the rooftops, his steps soundless. The rhythm of the city breathed beneath him, steady and slow. He could hear it in the distant hum of a passing train, in the soft murmur of waves lapping against the docks, in the faint music drifting from a hidden jazz bar, the notes dissolving like mist. As he moved, the bat signal faintly glowed against the drifting clouds above, its edges softened by the haze of the city's lights. But it was not a call to action tonight, only a quiet beacon, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, there was a guardian watching over the city. He closed his eyes for a moment, allowing himself to simply exist within the night, to feel its gentle embrace rather than its usual weight. A soft rain began to fall, not the harsh downpour Gotham so often knew, but a delicate mist that kissed the rooftops and pavement, shimmering beneath the streetlights. Batman tilted his head slightly, feeling the cool droplets against his skin, listening to the way they tapped lightly against his cowl. It was a lullaby of the city, a rare and fleeting moment of peace. And so, beneath the quiet rainfall, Gotham slept. And for tonight, at least, Batman let himself listen to its dreams. The rain fell in soft patterns, tracing gentle rivulets down the city's windows, washing away the dust of the day. Gotham, always a city of restless energy, seemed to exhale beneath the delicate mist. Its hurried pace slowed to something softer, something dreamlike. Batman rooftop, his cape catching the quiet wind, listening to the rhythm of the night. Far below, the streets shimmered beneath the golden glow of streetlights. The rain turned the pavement into a mirror, reflecting the city's towering spires, its neon signs flickering like constellations in a vast and endless sky. Footsteps echoed lightly, a late-night wanderer hurrying home. The quiet click of shoes against wet pavement fading into the distance. The city murmured in whispers now, the occasional sound of a car passing through empty streets, the distant chime of a bell marking the slow passage of time. Batman moved without hurry, stepping from one rooftop to the next, his movements fluid as shadows. There was no urgency tonight, no alarms breaking the night's stillness. It was rare, this kind of quiet, this moment where Gotham seemed to pause. He let himself breathe it in, feeling the steady pulse of the city beneath his feet, hearing the faint rustle of leaves in the park beyond, catching the scent of rain-soaked stone and earth carried on the wind. Down near the waterfront, the river moved in lazy waves, reflecting the soft glow of distant lamps. A boat drifted through the mist, its lantern a small, flickering beacon against the darkness. Gotham's bridges arched gracefully above the water, their silhouettes stretching into the horizon like silent sentinels watching over the city. Batman's thoughts drifted to Wayne Manor, resting just beyond the city's edge. He could almost picture it now, its grand halls bathed in the soft glow of candlelight, the warmth of the fireplace casting flickering shadows against old stone walls. Somewhere inside, Alfred would be tidying up, the steady sound of pages turning as he settled in with a book. The manor, despite its size, was quiet, a world away from Gotham's ceaseless motion. It had always been a place of solitude, a place where the echoes of the past lingered in the hush of its corridors. A distant clock struck midnight, its chimes slow and deep, resonating through the rain-soaked city. Batman listened, counting each note as it faded into the night. Time moved differently in these quiet hours, stretching and softening like the mist that curled through the streets. Gotham was resting now, and in its slumber, there was a rare and fleeting peace. Batman remained in the stillness, watching over it, listening to the sound of the rain, and for a moment, letting himself be part of the quiet dream. The rain had settled into a soft drizzle, its rhythm gentle against the rooftops and windows of Gotham. The mist swirled lazily through the streets, catching the glow of streetlights and turning them into hazy halos of golden light. The city, always restless, now moved in slow motion, as if caught in a dream. Batman stood above it all, watching, listening, his presence a silent part of the night. A faint breeze carried the scent of wet pavement and distant lilacs from the small park nestled between the towering buildings. There, the trees swayed slightly, their leaves glistening under the dim glow of a lamppost. A lone figure sat on a bench beneath one of those trees, their head resting back as they gazed up at the sky, lost in thought. Batman observed them for a moment, not a criminal, not a victim, just another soul wandering through the quiet hours of the night, wrapped in their own dreams. His gaze drifted upward to the clouds, where the bat signal still lingered faintly against the sky, its edges blurred by the rain. Commissioner Gordon had not called tonight. It was merely a reminder, a soft reassurance to the city that its guardian was near. He let his eyes linger on it for a moment longer before turning away, stepping into the shadows, moving with the ease of someone who had walked this path 1,000 times before. The city beneath him whispered in its sleep. Neon signs hummed quietly, their colors reflecting in the puddles below. A train rumbled in the distance, its steady rhythm blending into the hush of the rain. Somewhere, a jazz melody floated through the open window of a high-rise apartment, its notes warm and golden, filling the air like the fading embers of a fire. Batman moved along the ledge, his footsteps light, soundless. He wasn't chasing anything tonight. There was no villain lurking in the darkness, no cries for help breaking the silence. And yet, he remained. Gotham, even in its rare moments of peace, never truly slept. It only paused, as if catching its breath before the next storm. He understood this better than anyone, the way the city lived in cycles. Moments of stillness followed by inevitable chaos. A soft chime echoed from the clock tower once more. He glanced toward it, watching the hands move steadily forward, marking time that never waited for anyone. Somewhere across the city, Wayne Manor stood untouched by the world below, its halls lined with old memories, its rooms filled with echoes of lives long past. He thought of Alfred, likely sitting in his study, a book in hand, waiting for the distant sound of the Batmobile returning home. But tonight, there was no urgency, no need to rush. Gotham was sleeping, and for once, Batman let himself exist in the quiet, in the space between shadows and dreams. The hours stretched, slow and weightless, as Gotham drifted deeper into the quiet embrace of the night. The city's pulse had softened to a hush, its usual chaos subdued beneath the gentle patter of rain. Batman moved like a shadow through the rooftops, his presence blending seamlessly into the darkness. He was a part of Gotham, woven into its fabric, watching over it even as it slept. Far below, the streets shimmered, reflecting the soft glow of the city lights. A lone taxi rolled through the empty roads, its headlights cutting through the mist before vanishing around a distant corner. From a nearby cafe, the faint murmur of a late-night radio host drifted through an open window, his voice low and soothing as he spoke of stories from a city that never truly rested. Someone inside stirred a cup of tea, the spoon clinking softly against porcelain. A small moment of warmth tucked within the vast sprawl of Gotham. Batman paused at the edge of a rooftop, his gaze tracing the skyline. Even in the stillness, the city was alive in subtle ways. A light flickered in a high-rise window, perhaps a writer lost in thought, a musician composing their next melody, or someone simply unable to sleep. He had spent years watching Gotham in all its forms, in its moments of fury and fire, in its hidden kindness and unspoken sorrows. Tonight, he watched it rest, if only for a while. A gust of wind rolled through the alleys, carrying the distant sound of waves crashing against the docks. The river stretched far beyond the city, a dark ribbon reflecting the soft glow of distant lanterns. The bridges arched like silent guardians, standing strong against the endless flow of time. Somewhere, a ship's horn echoed, long and low, blending into the night's melody. He turned his gaze toward Wayne Manor, hidden beyond the hills. There, beyond the city's glow, the great house stood as it always had, its walls steeped in memory. The thought of its quiet halls, its flickering candlelight, lingered in his mind. Alfred would be awake, most likely, sitting in the dim warmth of his study, waiting. He always did, even when Batman told him not to. There was a comfort in that, a constant presence in a world that often felt fleeting. The rain had slowed to a mist, the drops barely visible now, only felt as a cool touch against the skin. Batman breathed in the scent of wet earth and stone, of the city washed clean beneath the night sky. It was a rare kind of peace, one that would not last, but for now, it was enough. And so, Gotham dreamed on, wrapped in the quiet watch of its guardian. The night stretched on, its silence vast and gentle, a lullaby whispered through the towering spires of Gotham. The city, wrapped in mist and moonlight, rested beneath the watchful eyes of its guardian. Batman remained upon the rooftops, his silhouette blending with the night, his presence as much a part of the city as the rain-slicked streets below. A soft wind stirred, rustling the leaves of the small park nestled between the buildings. The trees swayed, their branches stretching toward the sky like outstretched fingers. The lamplight flickered, casting golden pools upon the damp pavement, where raindrops shimmered like fallen stars. Somewhere nearby, the faint hum of an old jazz record drifted through an open window, its melody slow and wistful, like a memory just out of reach. Batman moved with quiet precision, stepping from one rooftop to the next. The echoes of the city whispered to him the distant rumble of a train crossing the bridge, the soft splash of water against the docks, the muffled footsteps of a passerby taking the long way home. He listened, attuned to every breath of Gotham, knowing that even in its moments of peace, the city never truly slept. His gaze lingered on the dimly lit streets below. A newspaper vendor dozed against his cart, his hat pulled low over his eyes. A stray dog trotted along the sidewalk, its wet fur glistening under the streetlights as it searched for shelter. Near a quiet diner, a man sat alone in a booth, stirring a cup of coffee, lost in thought. These were the moments of Gotham that few noticed, the quiet stories playing out beneath the neon glow, the lives that continued even as the world around them seemed to pause. A distant bell tolled from the old cathedral, marking the slow passage of time. Batman turned his gaze toward the horizon, where the first hints of dawn barely touched the sky. The stars still clung to the heavens, their light faint but steady, refusing to be swallowed by the coming day. The mist curled around the tallest buildings, weaving through the city like a dream that had yet to fade. Wayne Manor stood beyond it all, its silhouette barely visible against the darkened hills. He thought of the quiet warmth that waited there, the crackling fireplace, the steady ticking of the grandfather clock, the scent of old books and polished wood. He could almost hear Alfred's voice, calm and patient, reminding him that even the night must come to an end. But for now, the city remained in its dreamlike slumber, and Batman remained with it, watching, listening, existing in the space between darkness and dawn. The hush of the night deepened, wrapping Gotham in a quiet embrace. The rain had faded into a fine mist, barely visible except where it caught the glow of the streetlights, turning the city into a world of softened edges and whispered reflections. Batman stood motionless upon the rooftop, his gaze sweeping over the quiet streets below, listening to the rhythm of the city as it breathed in sleep. In the distance, the river moved lazily beneath the towering bridges, its dark surface rippling with the ghostly shimmer of city lights. The occasional creak of a boat shifting with the current echoed softly through the air. Beyond the waterfront, the great iron skeleton of the Gotham train line stretched into the mist, its steel beams standing silent beneath the glow of flickering signals. A lone train rumbled in the distance, its wheels clicking against the tracks, a lullaby for the restless few still awake. Batman's steps were slow, measured, as he moved along the ledge. He was not chasing shadows tonight, nor hunting the darkness that so often threatened the city. Instead, he watched. He listened. He allowed himself, if only for a moment, to exist in the rare quiet that Gotham seldom offered. Below, a mother and child walked together beneath the cover of a shared umbrella, their footsteps light against the damp pavement. The child pointed upward, perhaps catching a glimpse of something, perhaps even him. But the mother gently guided them forward, whispering something in the soft way only a parent could. The moment passed, fleeting, but it lingered in the air like the scent of rain on warm stone. A light flickered in the window of a small apartment where an old man sat at his desk, pen in hand, writing in the glow of a single lamp. His bookshelves were filled with worn pages, the weight of untold stories resting within them. Batman imagined the words spilling onto paper, ink forming thoughts, dreams captured in quiet solitude. The city was filled with these moments, small, unnoticed, yet beautiful in their own way. He had spent years seeing Gotham through the lens of crime and darkness, but nights like this reminded him of something else. There was hope here, tucked between the alleys and skyscrapers, whispered in the laughter of a child, written in the pages of an old man's journal. A breeze stirred his cape, cool and light, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and distant lilacs from the park. Somewhere beyond the skyline, the moon hung low, its silver glow slipping through breaks in the clouds, casting a soft sheen over the world below. Wayne Manor remained far beyond the city's glow, resting in its own quiet slumber. Alfred would be waiting, as he always did, the study lamp casting a warm glow against the windows. There was comfort in that thought, in the knowledge that somewhere, beyond the darkness and duty, there was a home. Batman exhaled slowly, his breath merging with the mist. The city was still dreaming, and for now, he would watch over it, a silent guardian beneath the sleeping stars. The night stretched on, deep and endless, wrapping Gotham in its quiet spell. The mist curled between the buildings, drifting like a veil over the sleeping city, softening the edges of steel and stone. Batman moved through the hush of the rooftops, his steps weightless, his presence blending into the night itself. There was no urgency, no chase, only the quiet observation of a city at rest. Far below, the streets shimmered beneath the lingering touch of the rain, their surfaces reflecting the glow of flickering neon signs. A coffee shop remained open on the corner, its warm light spilling onto the sidewalk, the faint clinking of dishes and hushed conversation drifting into the air. Inside, a lone patron sat by the window, staring into their cup as steam curled upward, lost in thought. The soft hum of a jazz tune played from a record in the background, a melody slow and comforting, like the memory of an old dream. The clock tower in the distance chimed, its deep tones rolling across the city like a measured heartbeat. Time moved differently in these hours, slow, fluid, stretching like mist over the streets. Batman listened, attuned to the subtleties of the night, the quiet murmur of wind against stone, the rhythmic drip of water from an old fire escape, the distant echo of waves lapping against the docks. He glanced toward the river, where the dark water glowed faintly beneath the scattered streetlights. A small fishing boat rocked gently with the tide, its lantern swaying with each ripple. The bridge beyond it stood silent, its arches stretching into the mist, disappearing into the horizon where Gotham met the world beyond. His gaze turned toward Wayne Manor, nestled beyond the hills, hidden in the shadows of towering trees. He could almost hear the crackling of the fireplace, the steady ticking of the old grandfather clock in the hall. Alfred would still be awake, his quiet presence filling the study with a patience that never wavered. There was a sense of permanence there, a reminder that even in the ever-changing tide of Gotham's nights, some things remained. A breeze whispered through the city, cool and light, carrying the scent of rain and stone, of damp earth and distant roses. It ruffled the edges of Batman's cape, a quiet, invisible hand passing through the air. He closed his eyes for a brief moment, letting himself feel the weightless calm of the night, the rare serenity that Gotham so seldom allowed. The stars above were faint, hidden behind the drifting clouds, but they were there, steady, waiting for the mist to part. Just like Gotham, they endured, shining even when unseen. And so, Batman remained in the quiet of the night, watching over the sleeping city, a guardian in the endless dream of Gotham. The city's heartbeat had slowed to a whisper, its restless spirit momentarily stilled beneath the weight of the night. The mist curled through the empty streets, turning Gotham into a place caught between waking and dreaming, where time felt stretched and unhurried. Batman stood in the quiet, his presence as much a part of the city as the towering buildings and winding alleys. Far below, a street lamp flickered, its golden glow casting long, soft shadows against the pavement. A bicycle leaned against a storefront, its frame glistening with tiny beads of rain. In the distance, the hum of a passing train was muffled by the mist, the sound stretching and fading like an echo from another world. Batman moved, his steps silent against the rooftop. The cold air carried the distant scent of rain-soaked brick, of flowers hidden in the city's small gardens, of the metallic tang of the river beyond. He paused at the edge, looking toward the waterfront, where the docks stretched into the mist. The boats swayed gently with the tide, their lanterns swaying like distant fireflies against the darkness. A lone fisherman stood at the water's edge, casting his line with slow, practiced movements, waiting with the patience of someone who understood the rhythm of the night. The bat signal still hung in the sky, faint now, softened by the haze. It was not a call to action tonight, just a presence, a quiet reassurance that Gotham was not alone. He let his gaze linger on it before turning away, stepping deeper into the shadows, where the city breathed in sleep. Near the park, a man walked with his dog, their footsteps light against the wet pavement. The dog paused, nose lifted toward the wind, sensing something unseen before continuing forward. A woman sat beneath a tree, wrapped in a coat, her eyes closed as if listening to the quiet melody of the night. Small moments, hidden in the vastness of Gotham, each one a thread in the city's endless story. Beyond the skyline, Wayne Manor stood like a distant memory, its silhouette blending with the hills. Inside, Alfred would be waiting, perhaps reading beneath the glow of a single lamp. The house quiet, except for the steady ticking of the clock. It was a reminder that, even in a world that never truly stopped, there were places of stillness, of quiet warmth untouched by the chaos beyond. A gentle breeze stirred the edges of Batman's cape, cool against his skin, carrying the scent of the coming dawn. The night was beginning to wane, its hours slipping away like sand through open fingers. But for now, Gotham remained in its slumber, wrapped in the watchful embrace of its silent guardian. The first hints of dawn were beginning to stir at the edges of the horizon, a faint silver light pressing against the deep blue of the fading night. Gotham still lay in its quiet slumber, wrapped in mist, its streets empty save for the occasional flicker of movement, a lone figure walking home, a distant car humming softly through the rain-slicked avenues. Batman stood upon the rooftop, watching, waiting, letting the city's slow breath guide him through the last moments before morning. The river stretched out beyond the skyline, its dark waters reflecting the dim glow of street lamps and the fading stars above. A boat drifted lazily, its lantern swaying in the breeze, a golden ember in the vast quiet. The docks, usually alive with movement, rested now, the wooden planks creaking gently with the lapping waves. It was the space between night and day, a fleeting moment where Gotham felt lighter, as if the weight of its burdens had been momentarily lifted. Batman shifted his gaze toward the bat signal, still barely visible against the retreating clouds. It was not a call to night, merely a symbol lingering in the sky, a quiet reminder of the city's protector. He had seen Gotham in every form, its chaos, its beauty, its sorrow, its resilience. And tonight, he had seen something rare, a moment of peace, fragile yet real, stretched across the rooftops and hidden in the quiet corners of the streets below. He turned toward Wayne Manor, far beyond the city's edge, where the great house sat waiting in the mist. Inside, Alfred would still be awake, perhaps sitting in the study with a book in hand, the fireplace crackling softly. He could picture the warm glow of the lamps, the steady ticking of the old grandfather clock, the quiet sanctuary untouched by the endless motion of Gotham. It was a place outside of time, a place that reminded him there was something beyond the night, beyond the mask, something steady and unchanging. The wind stirred, carrying the last whispers of the night with it, cool against his skin. He took a slow breath, feeling the weight of the city settle once more. The dreamlike stillness would not last. Soon, Gotham would wake, its streets filling with movement, with hurried footsteps and murmured conversations, with the rush of life returning. But for now, just for a moment longer, it rested, and he would let it. As the sky lightened, Batman turned, stepping away from the edge of the rooftop, his cape trailing behind him like a shadow dissolving into the mist. The city's silent guardian, watching over Gotham as it dreamt, knowing that when the night fell once more, he would return